minutes.
Okay, this meeting is being recorded. It is the meeting of the Camp Alice Carlton Committee meeting, and it is July 10th. It is 7:40 p.m. Present are Sandy Cortez, Ken Lytle, John Galvin, June O'Leary, Eric Joubert, and myself, Kathy Keefe.
Full group. We got everybody.
Hey.
Yes, it's been since March, since we last met. And on the agenda, I think the only item is the the open space and recreation plan.
Okay.
But before that, we can, if we just want to catch everybody up on anything that may have changed since the last meeting, I think now would be the time to do so.
All right. Well, I would be willing to go for the sale to the town of Rockland conditions. Would you share that, please? And thank you.
Cool.
I think.
May I look?
What? You know everything. You don't need one of these. You already got.
Plenty of business.
Yeah, no worries, yeah. Oh, the floor is yours. I haven't read this yet.
Well, yeah,
So,
I'll give you a
okay,
second to
all right.
look it over.
Okay.
But I think that one of the ways to secure that this remains woodlands, that we eliminate the tax bill for the town, unless we can find a way to eliminate the tax bill, it's always going to be a burden. And at some point, someone's going to try and get rid of it. And at least this way here, we can lock it as conservation type land, the way that the Carltons intended it to be. Obviously would put this all on the deed, and that would go with the sale of the property. If they don't want to accept the conditions, then we don't sell the property.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Why is it going to be a burden?
The tax burden, because it's
Will
$7,000.
that not change when we accept it as open space?
No, let me interject. The recent bill that we just got from the town of Rockland, $6,800. $6,800.
To buy all that?
No, just for that was
That's a tax bill.
that was the
every
real
year.
estate taxes that we owe to the town of Rockland.
Okay, why?
Payment in lieu of taxes.
We're not.
Correct. You're
Pilot
correct.
program,
That's
yes.
right.
Payment in lieu of taxes.
That's right.
So the question I would have we heard anything from Rockland since we had that conversation? That was a great meeting, by the way, with those two gentlemen. That was,
Yep, so that was Scott McFadden, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the name of the other gentleman.
Again?
Yes.
They
So
would
no,
take it in a heartbeat. They've been trying to get it for years.
okay.
So that's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Does it have to go for auction, or can we?
yes, I don't think you can just privately sell. I think there has to be an auction. There's a whole,
Well, it wouldn't be a
No, I
private sale.
think-
Municipality to
If
municipality.
the selectmen, it has to go in front of town meeting, which is what they were trying to do before.
right,
So if it goes before town meeting and town meeting says that it's okay for the
Right.
Board of Selectmen to do it,
Yep.
which is what was on it last year,
right,
then it could be sold directly to
okay,
Rockland. But town meeting would have to approve it first.
Okay.
Which I think they would be a slam dunk, I would think, if Rockland's going to buy it, put it in conservation or whatever they're going to
Right.
do with it.
Suppose private people start.
I'm sorry?
Suppose private people start bidding on it.
They can't.
They can't if town
the-
meeting authorizes the selectmen to sell it to the town of Rockland.
All right.
Yeah.
Specifically.
What's the wildland trust?
It's the ones that are following the McCarthy farm as well to ensure that they don't play with it,
Play with what?
the land.
Oh, okay.
And like that's already happened to Camp Alice Carlton. That whole front section used to be the riding fields and the Carlton home.
The riding fields were a business that was illegally done on public property.
So was the breach of the deed that said 8 acres, 1 house, no more. They put 7 or 8 houses. Buck Armour made a scene and they didn't even believe him. And lo and behold.
Is that the neighborhood that runs
Yep.
right there? Yes.
Yep, which is encroaching on the cart path, which is why we need to reclaim that quickly.
Yeah, well, when we drove up there, you could see them all dumping over the fence. Yeah.
What happens to that?
What?
That land that was originally Camp Alice Carlton. That just stays out there where it is now.
The land in Whitman? No, we'd put a sign up out front there and we'll get access from the cart path to run up into it so that so you can get into the Rockland thing. ultimately, this is going to be a beautiful green pathway, I think.
And
It
we
really,
I mean, if we could get something,
but
And then
No,
have the town say it's conservation land,
right.
and then it's
Our
under
part.
our,
yeah. And here again, lock that land up as well with the verbiage.
which
I mean,
you
thing,
can't sell it or anything, it's
Right.
only like an open space.
if Rockland's ready, gonna purchase it, we could use that money to fix up the car
Well,
path,
it's like- yeah.
and do a lot of work up there to get it done.
A percentage of it,
Yeah,
at least,
some percentage.
because you know they're not going to give us it.
No, I know. But use that money to
Yeah,
to open up that road. You know,
Get the
once you
road.
got past that one part, it wasn't bad.
no, the old drive could be opened
I mean,
up real
it was
easy.
Going past the houses where it was like, whoa, you know, because they had dumped all the stuff over them, you know,
Yep.
which
Well, that's why leaving that 10-foot buffer will protect the neighbors
put a
from.
big fence up there or something so nobody could get by it.
Yeah.
On their land,
Yeah,
not on the, you know,
yeah.
kind of like the train.
Yeah, the train's got a little more power.
We better have one real good lawyer.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it needs to, because they tried to break this, the Carlton's deed, because it was wishes, not whatever they said it was supposed to be. So it's all about verbiage. But yes, we tie it up tighter than a bull's butt at fly time. And
I mean,
unless it's considered part of the open space, because it's been listed as open space in previous editions.
Well, so this is probably a pretty critical time because we're putting a steering committee together for open space and recreation plan. And of course, I think the mission statement of such a plan would be to preserve, although the acquisition by Rockland would not be
be
against
preserving it.
preservation, correct? So, but
it
I
wouldn't
think
be the land that's in Rockland isn't, even though we own it, it's not.
you're right.
It wouldn't
You're
be
right.
under the open space
So-
law.
You know what? I think if this committee
Why not?
had a stance, now is the time to have the stance before the open space and recreation plan.
Starts going together. That's what.
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Because the part of the open space and recreation plan is what the town wants to do and what is their plan for these spaces moving forward.
And we'd still have the 7 acres in Whitman.
Whoopee. That's going to be good for some campers or something eventually.
Well, no,
Yes.
because I think we need to clarify no fires.
With the president.
Oh, good as a camping. That's fine.
Commission.
CPA? Community Preservation Act?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
the group that like gets grant money.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
So
Community
they,
preservation.
yeah, so we could get money from them.
for the Whitman
For the
side.
7 acres.
For the Whitman side.
And get a little chunk of change from the sale to just tuck away in a
Yeah.
fund for the campsite for
Yeah,
as
we could
needed.
Put it in a, well, you're the fund account.
Yeah, hey, Ken.
Would these-
We'll give it to Ken. He'll take care of it.
You can have at least the Conservation Commission. We have like a gift account, and we also have an account that the town gives us, and then we also have one that we. Every time there's a notice of intent or whatever filing fees, that goes into a different account. That account we use to take care of the 2 ponds. But the gift account, that's up to our discretion. But I mean, we only have like $1,000.
Sandy, can I ask you what is the composition of the Conservation Committee? Like how many members?
We're hoping to get a 4th member. The selectmen are supposed to appoint the person at their next meeting next week.
Okay, so someone has come forward
Yes.
expressing an interest to
Yes,
join.
we have reviewed the
Okay.
person's resume.
And that will make a committee of 4.
Yes, but we're still
One vacancy?
plus. Well, we have a board of 5 plus 1 alternate that can't vote unless we don't
Right.
have a quorum. Then,
Why do you have an alternate? Why aren't they a 5th member?
well, we don't have one in a full board.
There's 5
There's
members.
5
plus the
members
alternate.
and 1 alternate.
So, yeah, that's what you
But
want.
right now, we only have 4 members. Well, right now we only have 3, hoping to have 4 once the appointments made. And right now, because there's only three, all three of us have to be at a meeting to have a quorum.
Sure.
So it can get a little rough sometimes.
Yeah.
But right now, soon, hopefully, we'll have 4 members. But one member is going to have a baby, and his wife's having a baby in November, so we're getting down to 3. Yeah.
May I ask you where you came up with these parameters?
His head.
Upstairs, but I think that I've read enough deeds and done enough research on this that these are like key things where they tapped. So again, you need the lawyer to put the deed together.
Right.
Well, what happened? Timing is also so important. We have a town meeting, and the town votes to sell the land
To the town of Rockland only.
to Rockland. Okay. How are we going to stop somebody else from stepping in after they've voted to sell it? Suppose Rockland says, "Oh well, we've changed our mind. We're going to sell it to somebody."
Well, I would think that we'd have that all figured out prior to presenting.
It's in the deed. It's in the deed.
First, we're only, this transaction is only selling to Rockland. Anything, if Rockland decides at the end they don't want it, then it would be a moot point, and then we'd have to start all over again, I would think.
Conservation. Can I ask a conservation question?
Sure.
So if I need, if I've got a 5 acres and I got an acre as conservation and I can swap with someone. How does it, there's something about that? I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but you can swap areas of conservation.
Oh, that's, it's not swap. It's,
Exchange.
I can't remember the word. So if it's not replenish, but so if you're building on, say, 5 acres of land,
Yep. Like,
and part of it is wetlands.
mhm.
So if you're close to the buffer zone, you'll have to, whatever you take out, you have to put back, you have to make another area to make the wetlands whole. Yeah. Like, even though you're,
All right.
Oh,
So they couldn't take the Rockland land and
if it's
Take the-
wetlands, you can't,
oh, what? It's just the wetlands?
if it's, the wetlands is the only part that can't be built on. You can't, like, you can walk, well, you can't build on it. You can't even plant. You're not even, if it's real wetlands, you're not even supposed to walk on it. But if it's, you're supposed to stay out of it because you're supposed to let nature take its course. So they can't, you could sell it, but you can't do anything with it because the state would step in and give you a superseding order, which becomes, instead of the town's jurisdiction, it'd be under the state supervision of how that property is maintained.
But the camp's not really wetlands, right?
What?
It's not necessarily wetlands in the camp. There's a couple of little spots they found. But
Yeah, so if, you know, if it's like where they wanted to build their soccer fields and stuff like that,
Right.
that's, you know,
I'm just curious if you see.
you could build there, but you couldn't get near the wetlands. There'd have to be buffers, like fencing, signs saying no one beyond this point.
Just trying to think if there is a way that they would be able to sidestep this using that swapping program or any of those
that's a
other
building
things.
thing. You can't just swap, go on, oh, we're going to have to, no.
Yeah, we're going to take the camp and build here, and we're going to take the 30 acres that used to be the dump and call it.
It's a specific thing, and like,
Okay.
if you're building,
Yep.
not just like, oh yeah, we're going to take this. No, that's not how it works.
Okay.
Yeah, because like, so when, as an example, Richie Rosen was building the townhouses next to Dunkin' Donuts, and then there's like across the street, I think it's
Rock Street.
or something
Yeah.
like that. There's a sewage, there's a pipe, not a sewage, but there's pipes that go under 18 by Enterprise and all that.
Yep.
So at the time they were building Auburnville, they took dirt from Auburnville and then put it over on across the street from the Enterprise to fill in. That's how it works. It's not, you can't just like, oh, I'm just going to.
That was a nasty area over there by Enterprise too.
Yeah. So they just took the dirt that they used, they took some space and stuff from Arborville and then moved it over and put it there. But you can't just like, oh, I wanted it. It's a whole,
Okay.
there's a process. There's a,
But
you have to
wasn't
file
that,
a notice of intent. There's a whole,
Yep.
wasn't that a wetland corner? That corner, people have been trying to build in that for years. Couldn't because it was so wet.
where's that?
Where,
Brock Street where Rosen
Yeah.
built.
Yes.
so
So
he just brought dirt and filled in the wet
Didn't-
stuff.
he did, it wasn't wetlands there. He took
There
from
was a
over
river there.
But yes, but it's not technically wetlands. It's wet.
It's runoff water though, mostly, wasn't it?
It was,
Yeah.
it was wet.
Swampy.
Yes, it's wet, but not wetlands. There's a difference. So, wetlands, there's specific plants and vegetation and things like that. Whitman is wet. No, I mean, because there's people that have, I live on wetlands. Like, no, you don't not.
Sure you do. Okay.
Yeah,
They're wet, but they're not really.
exactly.
Does anybody else have anything that they think we should put into this?
Well-
These are just my thoughts.
Yeah, right. I
I'm-
mean, I think, obviously, if we would decide to go through with a recommendation to sell it to Rockland, we would need to get council involved to
Right.
draw
Yeah.
up everything. So, I mean, we technically, I don't think, could vote on this, but specifically, we would need to vote to recommend the
The cell.
sale to
That's
Conditional
but-
with
but-
conditions.
with conditions. Yeah,
Yeah.
with conditions.
But I'm
to
just.
be
Does anybody else have anything that they can see that we're missing out so that they can?
What's that?
You'll still need a lawyer before.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. That's what I'm saying, that we can't necessarily approve
Well,
what
can
it
we
says here.
poll the audience at this point as far as, because, at the last meeting, we were not all in agreement on what to do. So can we just take a minute to see where everyone sort of stands on the possibility of entertaining the thought of maybe having Rockland buy this from Whitman
With conditions.
with conditions?
With the appropriate conditions.
Yeah.
I think I'd have to know all the conditions first.
Okay, so the conditions, let's just summarize it to be that it would remain undeveloped.
Remain as it is.
Yes.
Well, I would like to see what the lawyer has to say before I agree to something that's legal.
Okay, so we're not going to probably put anything before a lawyer that costs a lot of money until at least are we entertaining the thought?
Would you consider selling?
Entertaining the thought.
Okay,
But I wouldn't say that I agree with it until I knew what I'm agreeing with. And I think the lawyer would have to tell me what I'd be agreeing with.
okay. So Sandy,
I'm for
okay, Ken,
Rockland.
I'm for-
But yes, with specific restrictions, but yes.
Attach the deed.
John,
Yes, I am as well.
Real good restrictions, yeah.
June?
I will if we get something real good restrictions.
okay, Eric,
I'm in. If
And-
with restrictions.
as am I with restrictions.
Okay.
So, okay, that's good.
All right.
So I think the next step would be for, I will ask the town administrator to put this forth to town council to find out exactly how we proceed.
So do we need to, you did basically a straw poll.
I did.
Should we do a
Yes.
full?
Make a
Yes,
motion.
yes,
Make-
I
Yes.
motion to move forward with selling the said piece of land to Rockland with restrictions.
I second that.
I think if we
All right.
You're the
just
chair. you
reword
can.
that,
Oh,
I
I
second.
second it. I'll second
possible,
it since
the
the chair
possible.
can't.
I was going to
Okay.
say all in favor, but I can't do that. It's-
All opposed?
no, wait a minute, there's discussion, right?
Discussion, but we've kind of had that already.
I just wish you would change it to the possible sale, not the sale. The possible sale of the land to Rockland. She said will you repeat that again?
that I'm in favor. I'm motioning to approve the sale
That's
the
it.
specific land to Rockland, specifically only to Rockland with restrictions. The
Oh,
restrictions.
so would you
have to
prefer
be
the
on
motion,
that.
could I make a motion that we consider selling the land to Rockland after the lawyers write up what needs to be written as a
But possible.
possible sale to the town of Rockland?
Well, there's also going to be a price tag
Yep.
involved too,
Yeah.
because at some point Rockland's going to be, like either yes, we're willing to pay this price, or no, we're not.
Well, they'll come forth with an offer. So
Yeah.
we have a motion on the table and a second. So
Okay.
For a
Are we
possible
looking-
sale, for a possible sale.
Yes,
After the
are
restrictions.
you gonna
No.
Yes.
agree to change your motion to that?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and I'll
Agreed.
change the second to that. So we're good.
Okay.
Just trying to make it official.
No, I'm
We are
glad
being
you're
recorded.
here, John. Oh my
And this
goodness.
is after the restrictions are known.
We're going to move forward to get
The legal
to
side of it.
Get the legal information for us.
And the
This is not the final vote that we're going to
Right.
take.
Okay.
Right, it's just
Yep.
Just to move forward,
With our recommendation.
because we need it. The selectmen need to hear it from us unanimously. Is the best way to hear it from us that we want to move forward with this. At this point, right now, we don't even know where Rockland. I mean, we know they're interested, but
Yeah.
whether or not they'll come up with the money or not, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And it may take them a little time, but,
You know.
they-
Yeah.
they'll stop the tax bill. Maybe we can get them to stop the tax bill this year.
Yeah, but I'm not willing to just like them say, okay, we won't charge tax anymore if we're done. It's like, that's not going to work.
No. Or refund the tax money that we've paid already as the price, yeah. No, it's fair market value, right?
The two fellows that came, they were going to put in the nice walking trail.
Scott McFadden.
Yeah.
Yep,
He's from Wildland
they-
Trust, right?
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Did they have a separate deal from Rockland, or are they working with Rockland? Is Rockland going to give them because that was very interesting to me, that way that the land would stay in headed for a nice direction, because they were all set to put walking trails right through that land. Would this disturb any plans they had? Do we know if they?
No, I think this would better feed into it.
If you what?
I think this would work in conjunction with those plans.
Yeah, I'd like to know that. I hope that is true, because
They're
I
going to
think
tie it in with the McCarthy farm so
Yeah.
that
They
it just
had-
continues up.
yeah, they had
Yeah.
good
That
intentions.
was
I
my
thought.
Because
interest.
it does tie in the
And
back.
ultimately, there's going to be a whole green ring up that
Yeah.
way. So the whole east side of Whitman will be
I know
green.
that's what I'm concerned with. I wouldn't want them to lose the ability to do what they wanted to do if,
Yeah.
I like that included in, to look at that in the deal that we'd make with Rockland. I don't want to just cut them out.
Yeah. No, the Wildland Trust, we had mentioned that there.
That's them, the wildlife.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like the other gentleman that was here, that
Don
Don,
McCann.
was a make it happen kind of guy.
Oh, look what he's done so far over there.
So,
He's impressive.
yeah, so
Yes.
he was the, we'll make this happen and whatever we need to do. They were even willing to assist Rockland in getting the land, from what I remember in that meeting. So,
Yes.
Yes.
And develop it. So, that's why, honestly, at that meeting, I said, let's vote to get rid of soccer, because he's such a
No, you're right.
Yep.
You're right.
No, we can tie it up as
Really?
green space and done.
Yep.
All right. Next,
So,
Old
yep.
Colony.
So I think, I think,
Do we need to do anything with the Old Colony or?
I don't know that we do. I think you might want to handle that separately.
right.
Oh,
Right. So,
perfect.
you know what? Yep. So,
So, Cohen,
We do have to vote
Motion.
on the motion that we made.
Oh, yeah, we do have to vote.
okay.
you have to read it back.
Yeah.
What do I have to do?
You have to read the
Sorry.
quote, the motion back.
we had the motion.
Vote on
We had the motion, you just.
John
Yeah, I'll
seconded. All in favor?
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Okay, it's unanimous. All right, so we should meet again. I will reach out to maybe Wildlands Trust. I don't know what my game plan is, but I'm going to move forward on this whole topic.
Yep.
And then so we perhaps should meet again, and I should have, a much more clear direction and pathway.
Yep.
And I'll make a motion to table the Old Colony
I second.
discussion.
I second.
I'd like to have those fellows involved some more,
So
for the walkway.
I've got a question then for the Old Colony thing. So
Yes.
is that going to move forward or
So-
not because of?
No. So the open space and recreation plan is a thing. It's happening. It's going to happen. I would like to have a representative from the Camp Alice Carlton committee also on the steering committee for that project.
We get this straightened out, we should be able to get grants
Yes.
for that.
Well, so the open space and is being fully paid for. We've already received grants for the open space and recreation plan.
Okay.
Free and clear.
Excellent.
So that land now is
So now this plan we're talking about, it's all Whitman. Now this is
the whole.
the whole town. So we'll work on the park, all the various components of the park. It just happened to,
Did I show
it
you
will
that?
overlap with the land we own in Rockland. But I think the fact that we've sort of have a direction before that plan gets
Yeah.
rolling out, makes,
Well, again, it's not,
still include the-
technically, it's not changing anything because the Rockland land can't be counted as part of it, correct?
yes.
So it
Right.
really doesn't change the
Doesn't change.
course of
Just be-
anything there.
Although, isn't it included in the prior plan?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it also says 40 acres.
Yeah,
So-
so we'll have to deal with that,
Be that
in
as
that
it may.
respect. Correct.
So what does
Correct.
that leave us when the Rockland land is gone? What,
We still have access to it,
We have 9 acres.
complete access to the Rockland land forever for the people of the town of Whitman, as well as we have the 7 acres in Whitman, which will have paths that will lead out there to the Rockland section, which we don't really have right
we
now.
have access to it, but no control over it. I mean, if you wanted to put something
Well,
out there, you couldn't.
I think that I think Rockland's gonna step up and do the right thing. They did with the McCarthy farm, and the Wildland Trust people, they make sure that they don't play games with it.
Yeah.
So I think we're sealing this up very well to keep it green for the people of the town of Whitman as the Carltons desired.
One thing we got from when those two guys were here, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're the safety guard.
And it's just part of this, when, I would like to be able to have the conservation, the pieces that are the piece that's in Whitman should be moved from control of the selectmen to the Conservation Commission.
Oh,
How does that happen? What is the,
You just have,
can we
just-
vote on that then?
We can't vote on it.
no,
no,
It's not us.
but
But that could be part of our recommendation.
yes, so right now, the control of the CAC is under the selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
All property is.
No, well, yes, but no.
Once
So
it's
there
conservation.
are pieces, like there's somebody that is wants to gift the town a piece of property off of Washington Street.
yes, yes.
The town already owns some wetlands back there. This is a kind of an access. It's like between two houses. It's like probably as wide as
Is it Spivik's farm?
That table, just straight from the street to back where the wetlands are, and it'd be gifted. They're going to gift it to the town, but it would be under the purview of the Conservation Commission. We would just do that as for the 7 acres or however many
Right.
is in Whitman instead of
Would
the
that
selectmen.
So I wonder if that's just a deed that gets executed.
I don't know.
would
how
that
they-
restrict us from building walkways and stuff like that though?
No, you can because now it's wetlands. You can't build on it. But if it's like
The Whitman land's not all wetlands though, is it?
no,
No.
not all of it, because there's a little path
I thought it was all
Off of
most all
Auburn
Rockland
Street.
land where all the wetlands.
Between what is it? Washington Street, probably 100 feet on Auburn Street to the left. Unless you're
Oh, I was talking about the Whitman Camp Alice Carlton property.
you're right.
The access.
The
piece.
Whitman side's pretty high. It
Yeah.
drops down when you hit the Rockland
So,
line,
yeah,
my
actually.
question is if that 7 acres goes into the conservation, will that restrict us to
No, you
getting up paths, building
No,
paths or
no.
anything? Okay.
because we have there's a path off of Auburn Street. It's like
Yep.
right from
Alan Fanction's house there.
Washington Street, probably 100 feet on Auburn Street. You have to look close on the, it's like you're driving towards like Wendy's. It's on the left hand side. You'll see a little sign. The sign's like maybe this wide, and it's brown, so it kind of blends in the wintertime. But it's a path that you can just walk down and everything like that. But it's under the Conservation Commission. But yes, there's a sign. There, I
No
Eagle Scout,
motorcycles. That type of stuff.
cleared it out before and things like that. Yeah, so
Is
it's
it-
under our purview, but
Is it wetland?
no,
Oh,
but it's more of
Conservation land?
it's conservation land, not wetlands. There's you can have conservation
You got anything
land.
else?
You can't, that's kind of like an open space kind of thing, but wetlands you can't build. But you can have wetlands in conservation land, but conservation land doesn't necessarily have wetlands.
Okay, can I ask when everyone's available to meet next?
doesn't matter.
Do you have to put some stuff together? Do you want to just email us all again? That seemed to work well.
Okay, I can, yep. If you just want to wait till I have a pocket in my schedule, we could do that. Sometimes if you designate a date, that
Help motivate council.
it kind of does.
Oh, well, when would you like
It
me?
kind of does.
How much time do you need?
Well, can we look at September?
September.
Jeez,
Jesus.
I'm looking at February.
What were you thinking?
Oh, that's
Eric?
on the
dance. No wonder you like
September
We're all looking at February.
Oh, we all.
11, 18,
No,
25?
he's got June.
I think we were away the last 2 weeks. In Europe.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was like,
Oh, I don't have my
like
pen.
change paper.
What do you need, Pat?
I don't think I've got my calendar with me.
I tell you what,
Be like a good.
Wednesday?
12th, I'm wide open.
Yeah, Wednesdays seem to be a little.
The 11th, I'm wide open.
of September 11th?
Yeah.
Well, wow, that's
Oh,
All right. That's
September
the
11th, 7:30 p.m.
Sure.
September 11th.
date. Yeah.
Bad date.
No, it's a good
No.
day. We're going to make it a good day.
Bad date.
What time? 7:30.
Please.
September 11th, 7:30 p.m.
So that just gives 2 months. I ought to
Can
be
you
able to
send out a
put something
reminder?
together. I will.
7:30.
7:30. Yeah. By then it will
Don't
be
be
getting
at 7:20.
darker. Okay.
Oh, don't say that.
I
Days
know.
are getting
I'm sorry.
shorter every
I
day
know it.
now.
Yeah.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
I was gonna say.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.